Let's create dice. Start out by creating a polygon primitive cube. We'll name the cube dice. And we'll make the size 5 by 5 by 5. And now I want to bevel the edges. So I'll enter edge mode, select all the edges, tumble around just to make sure you have in fact selected all the edges. Now we'll select edit mesh, bevel. You may have to change your widths depending on size of the cube you make. I'm going to use 0.3 and 3 segments for this bevel. That was a little too much, so I'll go ahead and change it to 0.2. Still a little much. 0.15, how about, let's try. That looks good. We're now ready to create the pips. We'll create a polygon primitive sphere. We'll name it pip. And set the radius at 0.5. Seems to be a pretty good radius. We now need to duplicate the pip. I'm going to use duplicate special. And according to this compass, we're on the Z. I'll reset settings first. Since the radius of the sphere is 0.5, the diameter is 1. So I'll have to move it at least 1. I'm going to move it about 1.2. And make 3 copies. Let's redo that. And we'll only set 2 copies. Repeat the duplicate special. Now instead of in the Z-axis, we're going to go in the Y-axis.
Kyra Davis, if you are on campus, please come to the front office. Kyra Davis, if you are on campus, please come to the front office.
Now that we have the 9 pips, we'll move them to the side and duplicate them. Because we're going to need 6 copies of these. Now from the side view, let's align these. Actually, we'll grab both sets of pips. And we'll align these so that they are as close to the center as possible. Now from the front view, I'm going to take my first set of 9 and position them so that they just halfway cut through the face of the dice. Now I'll delete the pips that are not needed for my first number, and I'll start with 5. Now select the dice, shift select the pips, and under Mesh menu, we'll select Booleans and Difference. Continue duplicating from the original 9 pips to complete the other sides. To rotate them on the top and bottom, select Edit and Group. And then with the group, you'll be able to rotate 90 degrees perfectly. Once again, remember, after you rotate, just duplicate them so that you'll always have a fresh set of 9 pips. Repeat this process until you have the entire die complete.